Where true happiness comes from. Good morning. Today I want to talk about something everyone is searching for, happiness. Everywhere we look, people are chasing it. Some look for happiness in money, some in success, some in relationships, some in attention, fame, or possessions. But the question is, why do so many people have everything and still feel empty? The Bible gives us a powerful answer. 1. Happiness is not found in things. In Ecclesiastes 2:10 through 11, Solomon, one of the richest and wisest men who ever lived, said, I denied myself nothing my eyes desired. Yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Solomon had wealth, power, pleasure, everything people think will make them happy. And yet he said it was like chasing the wind. Why? Because happiness based on things is temporary. Things break. Money comes and goes. People change. If your happiness depends on those things, it will always be unstable. 2. True happiness comes from God. Psalm 16:11 says, You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence. Notice that joy in his presence, not in circumstances, not in possessions, not in status, but in God himself. This is the first truth. Happiness is not something you chase, it's something you receive when you're close to God. 3. Happiness comes from a changed heart. Jesus said in Matthew 5:8, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. The word blessed also means happy, so Jesus is saying happy are those whose hearts are right. The world says, change your situation and you'll be happy. Jesus says, change your heart and happiness will follow. 4. Happiness is not the same as pleasure. Hebrews 11:25 talks about the fleeting pleasures of sin. Sin can feel good for a moment, but it doesn't last. It's like junk food for the soul. It satisfies quickly but leaves you empty afterward. Real happiness is deeper. It's not based on a moment. It's based on a relationship with God. 5. Joy can exist even in hard times. James 1:2 says, Consider it pure joy, whenever you face trials of many kinds. That sounds strange, doesn't it? How can you have joy in trials? Because biblical happiness is not dependent on circumstances. Paul wrote in prison, praised God and lost. Job praised God and lost. Jesus endured the cross. This teaches us happiness rooted in God cannot be taken away by life. 6. Happiness comes from trusting God. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and he will make your path straight. When you trust God, you stop carrying everything alone. You're not controlled by fear, you're not crushed by uncertainty, there is peace in knowing. God is in control even when I don't understand, and peace leads to happiness. 7. Happiness comes from giving, not just receiving. Jesus said in Acts 20:35, It is more blessed to give than to receive. The world says, get more, have more, take more. Jesus says, give and you will be blessed. Why? Because we were created not just to consume, but to love, serve, and give. Happiness comes from purpose. Jeremiah 29:11 says, For I know the plans I have for you, plans to give you hope and a future. When you know your life has purpose, you feel meaning. And meaning produces deep happiness. Without purpose, even success feels empty. 9. The ultimate source of happiness. In John 15:11, Jesus said, I've told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete. Did you catch that? Not just happiness, but complete joy. That's what God offers. Not temporary excitement, not surface-level pleasure, but a deep, lasting, unshakable joy. Closing thought. So where does true happiness come from? Not from money, not from success, not from people, not from things. It comes from God. From knowing Him, trusting Him, walking with Him, living for Him. Final scripture. Psalm 144:15 says, Happy is the people whose God is the Lord. That is the secret. Not a hidden formula, not a complicated system, just the simple truth. Happiness is found in a relationship with God. Closing prayer. Lord, help us to stop chasing things that don't satisfy. Draw us closer to you where true joy is found. Change our hearts, guide our lives, and fill us with your peace. Let our happiness come from you, not from the world. Amen.